In today's video, we need to address the elephant in the room, or the elephant that is currently going viral on social media, and that is the news that I was fired from the Big 3. Now,
so evidently this tweet, which probably took not more than 20 seconds to put together and go out, allegedly got her run off. I mean, it's ridiculous. I said, really, Cube? Come on, man.
Rachel DeMita had just turned another year older. It was her birthday, and like many of us do, she celebrated it online with a few tweets, some love for the sport she lives and breathes, and a spotlight moment for a generational athlete, Caitlin Clark. But what should have been a normal scroll through ended up blowing up her career in a matter of hours. The Big 3, Ice Cube's bold alternative basketball league, fired her. Just like that. No sit down, no warning. The final straw, a tweet? No, 8 tweets on the wrong day about the wrong person. Let's be clear. DeMita didn't tweet anything disrespectful, inappropriate, or offensive. All she did was rave about Clark's unreal performance. 32 points, 9 dimes, 8 boards against the previously undefeated New York Liberty. A WNBA star going nuclear on national television? That's newsworthy. That's electric. But for the Big 3, it was treason. Because it happened during one of their own broadcasts. Because Caitlin Clark turned down a monster $10 million offer from the Big 3 earlier this year. Because maybe, just maybe, this wasn't about loyalty, it was about power, optics, ego.
I was trying to think of the reason why I'm so mad about a team just starting off the year slow. And here's the reason why. The success of the WNBA rides on the success of the Indiana Fever, and specifically Caitlin Clark. We saw
this isn't just a petty firing. This is a microcosm of a much bigger story. The battle for basketball supremacy in a post-Clark world. And if you're just joining us, grab some popcorn. Because this drama, it's messy, it's heated, and it's far from over. Before we break it all down, do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the kind of story they don't want you to see. Rachel's rogue birthday tweets.
Team, celebrate. Why not?
Wow.
Do something getting into the act.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not champagne. And welcome, Rachel. Welcome to the Big 3.
Let's rewind to the scene of the so-called crime. Rachel DeMita is courtside for a Big 3 broadcast, doing what she does best, reporting, connecting, bringing fans into the action. At the same time, halfway across the country, Caitlin Clark is dismantling one of the top teams in the WNBA. As the Liberty crumble, Clark's name starts trending. And DeMita, she posts. Not once, not twice, but 8 times. All about Clark, all on her birthday.
Woo!
Now, some of those posts went up after the Big 3 game ended. Others came during. That's the part the league clings to like gospel. In their official termination letter, they called it a severe lapse in judgment, accusing DeMita of promoting a rival product while under contract. A betrayal, they said, a disloyal act. They didn't mince words and they didn't pull punches. One minute she's celebrating her birthday, the next, she's unemployed. But here's the twist. The league never told her to stop, never warned her, never pulled her aside. This wasn't a 3 strikes policy. It was 1 tweet too many and a trapdoor exit. No conversation, no grace. Just a cold email. And according to DeMita, she hadn't even signed her contract yet for the new season. She was operating in good faith. That faith was shredded in seconds. The statement that lit a fire.
The rumors are true. I was fired from the Big 3, and my team received an email at 11 p.m. on Tuesday with a letter that essentially said that I had been terminated.
When Rachel DeMita read the Big Three's official reason for her firing, even her delivery couldn't hide the sting. Dismayed and disappointed, the letter said. It accused her of ignoring her duties, of turning her attention to Caitlin Clark instead of the league paying her check. The implication was simple. DeMita wasn't just tweeting. She was committing media treason.
The point that I'm really not understanding in all of this, and I feel like it's been such a pattern throughout the entire season. It feels like there are still certain people within the WNBA who want the league to grow, but they don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face. And
The wording? Let's just say subtlety wasn't invited to the party. The Big Three painted themselves as betrayed patriots, standing tall against a commentator gone rogue. But that tone? That self-righteous, finger-wagging language? It didn't land well. Fans immediately called it petty, overblown, and worse, a passive-aggressive meltdown disguised as professionalism.
So evidently, this tweet, which probably took not more than 20 seconds to put together and go out, allegedly got her run off. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And if you think this was just about a few tweets, think again. Multiple voices in the sports community are convinced this was personal. That Ice Cube and the Big Three haven't forgotten or forgiven Caitlin Clark for publicly turning down their $10 million offer earlier this year. The math checks out. Clark declines. The league fumes. Rachel posts about her. Rachel's gone. Coincidence? Or a slow-cooked revenge served with corporate polish? It was my bad, but still. To her credit, Rachel DeMita owned up. In her now viral video posted to X, she didn't hide behind PR spin. No notes, no handlers, just her and a camera. She admitted the tweets were probably ill-timed. She took the hit square on the chin, saying, "That's my bad. I apologize for that." But what she wasn't ready for, the coldness, the finality, the silence before the axe dropped. She never denied tweeting during the game, but she made it clear she wasn't watching the WNBA broadcast on the job. She was doing her sideline reporting, just like always. The tweets were quick, off the cuff, and most of them came post-broadcast. Her only real crime? Multitasking in the digital age. Apparently, that's enough to get labeled a traitor now. What made it worse, according to her, was the total lack of conversation. No warning shot, no meeting, just, "You're out." And that's where a lot of fans draw the line. Even if DeMita made a misstep, the Big Three acted like they were waiting for her to trip. No grace, no humanity, just an excuse. The Ice Cube theory. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the Ice Cube to be exact. The founder of the Big Three has long been seen as a disruptor, a visionary who wanted to reshape basketball with veteran stars, half-court drama, and a media footprint that punches above its weight. But this firing, it's giving petty. And fans aren't buying the official reason. Plenty of fans and commentators are convinced that this wasn't about Rachel DeMita at all. This was about Caitlin Clark, about a public snub that the Big Three couldn't shake. Clark didn't just say no to $10 million. She did it publicly and gracefully and made the WNBA look like the cooler, more legitimate place to be. That's a tough pill for any league to swallow, especially one built on alternative clout. So when Rachel dared to amplify Clark's dominance, boom, the trapdoor opened. The league couldn't fire Clark, but they could fire her proxy, the one who dared to acknowledge her during their show. In a world where branding is war, Rachel was seen as switching sides. That's the theory, and it's gaining steam fast. The business of basketball loyalty. Let's not pretend Rachel DeMita is some rookie. She's a basketball media veteran with nearly 300,000 followers on X and over 1 million on Instagram. She's worked with the NBA, ESPN, and now, you guessed it, the WNBA. Her voice holds weight. Her reach is gold. And in today's attention economy, that matters just as much as a box score. The Big Three didn't just fire a host, they fired a brand. And in doing so, they sent a message to every other broadcaster in their orbit. You're either with us or you're gone. It's the kind of old-school thinking that doesn't play well in a TikTok world. Fans expect authenticity, spontaneity, the occasional crossover moment. Rachel gave them that. The Big 3 shut it down. Which raises the real question. What's loyalty worth in 2025? Is it posting exclusively about your employer even when bigger moments are happening across the court? Or is it showing up, doing your job, and still being human online? Because if Rachel's tweets cost her a job, then maybe the industry needs to recalibrate. The court of public opinion weighs in. The reaction online was swift, loud, and mostly in Rachel's favor. One fan wrote, "The fact they didn't just have a sit-down means they were looking for an excuse to fire you anyway." Another called the Big 3's statement self-righteous and petulant. One even said, "I hope they disappear into obscurity." Ouch. Commentators also weighed in. Black and White Sports called the firing Bush League, criticizing the Big 3 for being too sensitive. Another YouTuber, Izzy, added that it was overkill. If she was on a break, why not let her tweet? It's Caitlin Clark. She's the women's Michael Jordan. That line, it stuck. And it made people think. What emerged from all the noise was one clear takeaway. Whatever Rachel did, the punishment didn't fit the crime. It felt personal, vindictive, like it wasn't about professionalism at all, but about pride, ego, control. And in 2025, those aren't good enough reasons anymore. A league struggling for relevance. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The Big 3 needed this story more than they realized. Their ratings have been flat, their headlines few and far between. But controversy? That sells. Firing a woman with 1 million followers? That's instant buzz, instant attention, and maybe, just maybe, that was the point all along. By targeting Rachel, they turned her into a lightning rod. And while it's a PR mess on one hand, it's eyeballs on the other. Suddenly, everyone's talking about the Big 3 again. But it's not for the play on the court. It's for a firing, a spectacle, a scandal. And that might just be the most damning part of all. Because if you have to lean on firing someone for attention, what does that say about the product? About your confidence in your league? Rachel DeMita became a headline. But the Big 3? They became a cautionary tale. The game within the game. At the heart of this controversy is a bigger story. A story about control, freedom, and how much personality a sports league can tolerate before it feels threatened. Rachel DeMita's tweets weren't loud. They weren't rebellious, but they were real. And in a world full of scripted content and forced loyalty, maybe that's what made her dangerous. This isn't just about basketball, it's about media, branding, power. The WNBA didn't ask for this PR win, but they got one. The Big 3 didn't need this L, but they took it anyway. And Rachel, she may have lost a job, but she gained a narrative. One that proves loyalty goes both ways. And sometimes, standing up for the game means getting thrown out of it. So what do you think? Was Rachel DeMita out of line, or was the Big 3 just looking for a reason to flex? Drop a comment, like this video, and make sure to subscribe for more raw, real sports breakdowns you won't get anywhere else. Because in this league of stories, we don't just watch, we play.